All right, everybody, we're in Fort Myers and we're about to cross the bridge. Oh. This is Jose, Florida Hood Blogs. We're here in North Fort Myers. These are the white hoods of North Fort Myers. Now, normally when you think about a hood, a lot of people don't associate that with the white race. However, there's all types of hoods. There's black hoods, white hoods. Every race has hoods. And today we're gonna explore a white hood. And I'm just surprised at how many people say there's no such thing. You know, when they see the word hood, they automatically assume it's referring to African American or Latino areas, but there are white hoods. This is a very rundown area on the north side of Fort Myers. It is predominantly a white area. Slowly Latinos are starting to move into this area, but this is the white hoods of Fort Myers, North Fort Myers, what the locals refer to as the NoFo. This area is infamous for homelessness and drug addiction and begging, all of the things that come with the street. As you can see, this is a hangout spot here where unfortunately people live in these conditions. You'll find, usually in these places, you'll find heroin needles. You have to be really careful just walking around, but you'll get a pretty good insight of what's going on in these neighborhoods by looking through these places. Sometimes you got to be careful as you're driving. They'll put planks out like these with nails pointing upwards, so that if you drive through their areas, you'll get a flat tire. So this is likely somebody's house here, and if they can be territorial about their little camps, so you'll get a really good indication of what's going on here. Just by looking through this stuff, you'll see there's a broken glass. It doesn't exactly, I don't see any needles yet, but this is probably in this filth you'll find, if there is a lot of heroin use out here. It's one of the main things, heroin and meth. But if you dig through here, you'll see some of the signs of drug addiction, usually heroin needles, all that. But yeah, unfortunately in the United States of America, people born here that are US citizens and have the opportunity to do anything they want with their lives end up living in these conditions. Sometimes it's drug addiction that leads them to that. Obviously somebody did some dumping here, they dumped some garbage. It's not expensive to get rid of this stuff, so there's no excuse for it. You can actually make out an Office Depot. It's an old abandoned Office Depot, but as you can see, there's actually trees growing inside of it. There's water leaking. You can see the water leaking right there from the ceiling. You can see through there the water leaks to the ceiling, and it's created a puddle, and the puddle's kind of fed all this life, and you have kind of like trees growing inside the building. It's very odd. But yeah, it's an abandoned Office Depot here. I guess the offices are closed. Just because somebody lives in a hood doesn't mean they're bad people. There's a lot of great people here trying to take care of their families and kids and grow up to be good and successful people. They just have a little bit rougher of an environment to do it in than the rest of us. So definitely by no means talking down on the good people of this area. We show all types of neighborhoods, rich, poor, everything in the middle, and that's why we're here, because we show it all. Well, this is the urban decay of North Fort Myers. This site is downright depressing. Garbage everywhere, homeless people everywhere. Sometimes you'll see vehicles that are just laying around, and sometimes it's homeless people that all they have left is a car. And then they'll likely, since all they have is a car, they'll live in the car. So many times when you see a car like that, it's because there's somebody sleeping in it, and all they have left is their car. So you'll see a lot of cars parked behind buildings. We have a crab leg right here. Little rum bottle, fireball. It's a really depressing urban setting. Ironically, in the distance, you can see the skyscrapers, the high-rise condos. It's just a vast contrast between the rich and the poor here. For some reason, there's a lot of these bottles, empty medicine bottles. Looks like somebody with their hand scribbled their graffiti initials on that. Very depressing. At some point somebody broke this window or door to get access to the interior of this building, which I'm gonna guess if a lot of these are gonna have homeless people living in them. See if we can peek inside. It's completely vacant. Looks completely vacant, but there definitely could be homeless people in there. Sorry, closed. But well, we got some crackers. It's a very depressing district for the most part, and just a rough spot. There's a broken beer bottle here on the ground. People have kind of left their graffiti initials in the dust with their finger. They've kind of left a few messages here. It's pretty depressing, to be honest. Soft hoagie rolls. Looks like some old ham. That looks pretty disgusting. And you gotta be careful because a lot of times, you know, there's not too many places to use the bathroom, so you gotta watch where you step. It looks pretty vacant in there. Looks like the whole thing is just vacant. Surprised nobody's broken into it. We're gonna walk this way. We got a guy over there. We don't want to bother him. He's like, it's just reading a book, enjoying life. That's the other thing too, you know. Sometimes you can just enjoy the beauty of an urban setting when you're homeless and just kind of live life. Many of the homeless people that I've interviewed, they always tell me they just, not all of them, some are very distraught, but others are just like, I live my life, I don't really care. I sit down, read a book, hang out with my friends. You have a hat here that was lost. Somebody lost their hat. So you can find all types of interesting things that people discard around here. Hats, clothing articles. And this is in North Fort Myers, right in the center of Southwest Florida. You'd expect Southwest Florida to be a prestigious type of place. Look at this building over here. So far I haven't found any heroin needles. We have found a few bottles of pills. That doesn't exactly mean anything. Some parts of the country, you know, the needles are more common than in others. It's pretty hard to find them here in South Florida, and I don't know anything about consumption, so I don't know how or what. But I'm surprised they haven't stolen the air conditioning coils off these things. You can see there's one right there. There's another one right there. That's all pure copper. And I'm really surprised that nobody's taken it. Now, you're not legally allowed to sell the copper coils, but there are ways around that. In the state of Florida, it is illegal. Not sure. In the state of Florida, it is illegal to sell these coils. It started in about the year, let me say, can't remember the year, but it must have been around maybe in 2008, 2007, I'm gonna guess. It became illegal to sell these coils because people would steal them and they would scrap them. Mostly homeless people and drug addicts would steal these, and there are also organized crime rings that did it. And they would steal these just to be able to sell them. It's like here, somebody, oh, big old, see somebody just broke into this, or you can make out a water heater, and can't go inside of it because it'd be trespassing. We gotta stay outside the structure. But it became illegal in Lee County first and Collier County. Both counties made it illegal to sell these coils. It's ironic that that law was first implemented in Naples and Fort Myers area, Lee and Collier County, were the first two counties to implement this regulation, making it illegal to sell these coils. And eventually the entire state of Florida adopted these regulations, and now it is illegal in the entire state of Florida to sell coils. This was at one point, it looks like it was a restaurant. But yes, the regulations started here in Southwest Florida. Lee and Collier County were the first to implement these regulations, making it illegal, in fact, to sell the AC coils because people were stealing them off buildings. And eventually these regulations became the norm in the entire state of Florida. It originated right here in Southwest Florida, where junkies and all types of criminals were stealing the coils to make their little money to buy whatever they wanted. Overall, a very depressing urban setting, lots of urban decay. You do see a lot of alcohol, lots of small, like here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 tiny alcohol bottles, make it 7. So somebody's enjoying their alcohol. 7, 8, 9. There's a glass one, 11, 12. So this is somebody's drinking spot. Here we have a car with no tags, abandoned likely. So, and again, very ironic that right across the street you have these high rises. But this is definitely somebody's drinking spot. There's lots of little bottles here and there. More bottles here. This business center is in complete decay. Just doing a little urban exploration, one of my favorite types of explorations. Every once in a while you'll see stuff that's been burnt up. I guess people make little fires at night or whatever. Likes to sip on that rum. And what a better place to do it than this, to be honest. Every once in a while a car drives by, not too much action here. Overall, very depressing urban setting. You have perhaps some bullet holes here. I'm not sure if these are bullet holes or if there was maybe a sign attached to the building that fell off. Looks like there was a sign there and the sign fell off. But this building is in complete disrepair. At one point it was a restaurant, and currently it is not a restaurant. You can see the debris falling through. And that hotel that we drove through, a little motel called Aloha that I drove through, we got some dirty looks in there. Yesterday, or the day before, the police shot a man and killed him who was armed apparently. So apparently this man was armed and the police shot him yesterday. So we have in those little motels less than a mile from here, the man had a gun apparently, and the police officer shot him mortally. And we drove through there. We got some very nasty looks. They didn't like us going in there. But very sadly, somebody lost their life. The man was allegedly carrying a weapon. Now, the residents, from what I hear, say that the man was just an elderly person who had like dementia or something, and it wasn't even a real gun, it was a BB gun. Of course, the Lee County Sheriff's Office hasn't made any statements about it, so we don't know how authentic that statement is, and we don't like to speculate. I'm just giving you guys the information. Usually you get these out in the woods, but today we got them in the city. How's that for a change? We have this flooded pool here. I guess if you needed to go for a dip, this would be a place to do it. We're looking at about maybe 4.5 feet of water. So I guess this was a loading bay that eventually became a pool of water. And today we have just a massive pool of water, I guess. Lots of urban decay. Lots to soak in here. Fort Myers is a dump. North Fort Myers is a dump. Cape Coral's a little bit nicer. A lot of older houses, and you know, to somebody this may be a nice neighborhood. Everybody's got different tastes. This could be the type of neighborhood you like. So we all have different tastes. It's kind of arbitrary to just say because you don't like a place or you find it a little distasteful somebody may feel right at home in this beautiful setting. We all have different tastes. We all have different things we like, and for somebody, wow, this could be their cup of tea, really, or cup of whiskey, whatever you prefer. As always, the best food is always in the hood, and we found this Puerto Rican place on Pondella Road. I love my Latin food. Puerto Rican food is among the best. We got some mofongo with some pork chunks and some empanadas with cheese, I think, inside, something like that. I didn't even look at what I ordered. So they have a mural on the side here with some people they admire, so I'm really excited about this. Like I said, always the best food is always in the hood. They have sugar cane and mangoes and bananas right on the outside of the restaurant, and I'm really excited about this. You can smell the Latin food. We drove by and we smelled it, and I was like, awesome, great. Really excited about this Puerto Rican food, guys. So great. We're in North Fort Myers. We're gonna go for a little walk here. We found this Puerto Rican restaurant. It's called La Casita Boricua, which means a little Puerto Rican house. And just love it, love it. I could smell the good Puerto Rican food from the outside of the business, and I was like, we gotta try it, y'all. So we got some Puerto Rican food cooking up. The hood is always, maybe a white hood or whatever nationality, whatever. If it's a hood, they're going to have the best food. Poor people aren't going to spend money on food if it's garbage. A crappy restaurant can last forever in Naples, you know, or in Sarasota and a tourist destination. But in the hood, for a restaurant to last, it's got to be on point, because poor people aren't going to pay for garbage. You can get a lot of good services for a lot cheaper. So I know it's kind of a little bit of a weird suggestion, but if you're in Southwest Florida and you haven't came over here yet, we have magic. So if you're in the area, okay, they have a costume store. That is so wacky, y'all. Look at this. They have a costume store. So if you're in Southwest Florida and you haven't spent some money and you know, spend a day here in North Fort Myers, soak in the good food. The people are friendly, surprisingly. Just because people are poor doesn't mean they're gonna be rude, or just because they're rich doesn't mean they're gonna be rude either. But definitely check it out. If you're in Southwest Florida and you're kind of tired of the same routine, switch it up, do something different. All right, everybody, this is Puerto Rican food. That's mofongo, pork chunks. That's what's up. We also got some cheese empanadas and some Sprites. This is Puerto Rican food, guys. This is amazing. It smells great. Mofongo. Small little houses from the 70s and 80s. Some areas are nicer than others. There are nicer streets. This is nice compared for the area. There's nicer spots for sure. It's not all grimy. There are nice spots here and there. It's kind of hit or miss. They got a nice little lake in the back here. The road is rough. With proximity to Cape Coral, there's a lot of Latino restaurants. We just ate at a Puerto Rican, and here's a Cuban place, La Quincalla Cuban. I don't know if they're a restaurant, if they're selling clothes. Havana restaurant, authentic Cuban food. So there's a Cuban restaurant. So there's kind of being so close to Cape Coral, there's a lot of Latinos are moving into this area. So you can see a lot of Latino stuff coming here. So yeah, definitely Latinos are moving in to North Fort Myers slowly. And it's a really wide mix of Latinos. It's very varied. Redneck thrift store? You've got to be kidding me. Where's that at? Oh.
Are we saying the same thing?
There's a Haitian Baptist church. A steak sale for $1? I've never had $1 steak.
I have.
Hidden Treasures Flea Market. As you can see, it's all hidden. Maybe you can't see it. Gaga Diner. Closed on Mondays. It just says bingo. I'm sure not a single person in there is wearing a mask. All of them are probably going to be elderly. Unbelievable. Oh, she's picking it up. She's picking it up.